Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Chaitanya Charitamrita. In today's episode, we are continuing our study of the glories of Panchatattva, part 3. And we are reading from chapter 7 of the Adilila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, verse 20 onwards. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणासिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome to this episode of Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are reading from chapter 7, text 20 and 21 onwards. We have completed until 19, the previous episode. शै पंचतत्त्वमिलि पृथ्व्याशियां पूर्व प्रेम भाण्डारेर्मुद्रा उघाड़िया। पांछे मिली लुटे प्रेम करे आस्वादन जत जत पिए तृष्णा बाढ़े अनुक्षण। The characteristics of Krishna are understood to be a storehouse of transcendental love. Although that storehouse of love certainly came with Krishna when he was present, it was sealed. But when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with his associates of the Panchatattva, they broke the seal and plundered the storehouse to taste transcendental love of Krishna. The more they tasted it, the more their thirst for it grew. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Mahavadanyavatar because although he is Sri Krishna himself, he is even more favorably disposed to the poor fallen souls than Lord Sri Krishna. When Lord Sri Krishna himself was personally present, he demanded that everyone surrender to him and promised that he would then give one all protection. But when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this earth with his associates, he simply distributed transcendental love of God without discrimination. Sri Rupa Goswami therefore could understand that Lord Chaitanya was none other than Sri Krishna himself, for no one but the Supreme Personality of Godhead can distribute confidential love of the Supreme Person. See, none other than Sri Krishna himself can distribute confidential love of the Supreme Person. पुनः पुनः पियाया हय महामत्त नाचे कांदे हास्य गाए जय छे मदमत्त। Sri Panchatattva themselves danced again and again and thus made it easier to drink nectarian love of Godhead. They danced, cried, laughed and chanted like madmen, and in this way they distributed love of Godhead. Purport. People generally cannot understand the actual meaning of chanting and dancing. Describing the Goswamis, Sri Srinivas Acharya stated, Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Parao. Not only did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates demonstrate this chanting and dancing, but the six Goswamis also followed in the next generation. See the first line, people generally cannot understand the actual meaning of chanting and dancing. The present Krishna consciousness movement follows the same principle, and therefore simply by chanting and dancing we have received good responses all over the world. It is to be understood, however, that this chanting and dancing do not belong to this material world. They are actually transcendental activities, for the more one engages in chanting and dancing, the more he can taste the nectar of transcendental love of Godhead. पात्रा पात्र विचारना ही नाही स्थाना स्थान जय जहाँ पाए तहाँ करे प्रेम दान. पात्र अपात्र विचारना ही नाही स्थाना स्थान. This is actually a very nice verse. In distributing love of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates did not consider who was a fit candidate and who was not, nor where such distribution should or should not take place. They made no conditions. Wherever they got the opportunity, the members of the Panchatattva distributed love of Godhead. Purport. There are some rascals who dare to speak against the mission of Lord Chaitanya by criticizing the Krishna consciousness movement for accepting Europeans and Americans as Brahmanas and offering them sannyas. But here is an authoritative statement that in distributing love of Godhead, one should not consider whether the recipients are Europeans, Americans, Hindus, Muslims, etc. The Krishna consciousness movement should be spread wherever possible, and one should accept those who thus become Vaishnavas as being greater than Brahmanas, Hindus or Indians. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu desired that his name be spread in each and every town and village on the surface of the globe. Therefore, when the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is spread all over the world, should those who embrace it not be accepted as Vaishnavas, Brahmanas and Sannyasis? These foolish arguments are sometimes raised by envious rascals, but Krishna conscious devotees do not care about them. We strictly follow the principles set down by the Panchatattva. What is Panchatattva principle? This is the principle. Patra patra vicharna hi nahi sthana sthan. Jai jaha paye taha kore premadan. जारे देखा तारे कहो कृष्ण उपदेश आमार आज्ञा गुरु है या तारा ही देश. Same thing. जारे देखा तारे कहो कृष्ण. Whoever you see, you talk about Krishna. पात्रा पात्र विचार नाही नाही स्थाना स्थान. Whether proper place or proper person, no, just distribute. Everybody is a proper person actually. Just that whether he is covered by the mode of ignorance or passion or whatever. But everyone is a soul. Actually, they are part and parcel of Krishna. So we have to try with everyone. But if they are found to be very envious, then leave them. Otherwise, it has to be spread to everyone. One second. And actually, I think the other day also I was mentioning about this. I think on the Tattva Darshan show, where I think somebody was asking why go to China. Of course, maybe he has asked with a different reason, but I touched on this topic that we have to distribute this Krishna consciousness movement everywhere. We don't care for the political sentiments of this and that country. We just want to help everyone, no matter where they are. As much as possible, we should try to help. That is the foundational thinking of a preacher. लुटिया खाइया दिया भांडारो जाड़े आश्चर्य भांडार प्रेम शत गुण बाड़े. Although the members of the Panchatattva plundered the storehouse of love of Godhead and ate and distributed its contents, there was no scarcity, for this wonderful storehouse is so complete that as the love is distributed, the supply increases hundreds of times. Anandambudhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. The Shri Krishna Sankirtan, the storehouse of bliss, is just it is unlimited. Not just unlimited, it increases as one distributes. Right. That is actually the case when we are discussing about Krishna consciousness here in this live stream. So those who are hearing it and those who are speaking about it, both are getting benefited, both are feeling happy. So this only increases. It's not that the speaker, when he speaks, he loses all his Krishna consciousness. Now he's empty. Now he has to go and refill again. No. The more he speaks, the more it increases. He also relishes, and then the listener also relishes, provided it is spoken in the proper parampara system, without any adulteration. Purport. A pseudo-incarnation of Krishna once told his disciple that he had emptied himself by giving him all knowledge and was thus spiritually bankrupt. Well, that was Ramakrishna. He is mentioning this pseudo-incarnation of Krishna. Prabhupada is referring to Ramakrishna. He said to Vivekananda that he put his hand on his head and then said, and some electric shock came, and then electric shock passed from the Guru to disciple, and then now the Guru said, now I have lost everything. So that is not that is not spiritual. Spiritually, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Everything that is complete, everything is complete in the spiritual world, and everything that comes is also complete in itself. And whatever, even if complete units are taken out from the complete, the remaining balance is still complete. So that is spiritual. So such bluffers speak in this way to cheat the public, but actual spiritual consciousness is so perfect that the more it is distributed, the more it increases. Bankruptcy is a term that applies in the material world, but the storehouse of love of Godhead in the spiritual world can never be depleted. Krishna is providing for millions and trillions of living entities by supplying all their necessities. And even if all the innumerable living entities wanted to become Krishna conscious, there would be no scarcity of love of Godhead, nor would there be insufficiency in providing for their maintenance. Our Krishna consciousness movement was started single-handedly, and no one provided for our livelihood. But at present we are spending hundreds and thousands of dollars all over the world, and the movement is increasing more and more. Thus there is no question of scarcity. Although jealous persons may be envious, if we stick to our principles and follow in the footsteps of the Panchatattva, this movement will go on unchecked by imitation swamis, sannyasis, religionists, philosophers or scientists, for it is transcendental to all material considerations. Therefore, those who propagate the Krishna consciousness movement should not be afraid of such rascals and fools. Actually, you know what? This verse is so deep. There will be so much opposition presented by unscrupulous people, especially in Kali Yuga. And here it is said, you see, although jealous people may be envious, if we stick to our principles and follow in the footsteps of the Panchatattva, this movement will go unchecked by imitation swamis, sannyasis, religionists, philosophers or scientists, for it is transcendental to all material considerations. So Srila Prabhupada actually mentioned that purity is the force. And when we talk about preaching, we cannot think that those people who are staying in the temple are the preachers. We are incumbent. The onus is on us that now we have to preach. We already have received the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are duty bound. How can we think that we cannot preach? Whatever we know, we should help others. Just like a good-hearted person, even if he has some little money, If he sees a poor man, he will give something, even though it may not be like a huge amount. Whatever he can give, he will give. So the thing is the desire to help others. And the desire to help others comes from the understanding that first of all, everyone is a servant of Krishna. Just that they have forgotten. One must be firmly convinced of this fact. And in that way we have to see how to help the other person. So the devotees, the preachers means every person. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not say that only the sannyasis or the renounced people must preach. In fact, Yari Dekha Tarakaha Krishna Upadesh, that very shloka in the Chaitanya Charitamrita was spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to a Grihastha devotee, who in fact said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I want to leave all this Grihastha ashram and I want to join you. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, you stay wherever you are and preach. Whomever you see, you speak about Krishna. He told that to a devotee who is a Grihastha. So now you see how important it is. Everyone should be a preacher. It is not about qualification. It's not about qualification. Now, a person, as I just now said, a person who gives a little bit amount to a poor man. Now, is he thinking that I am going to rid himself of all poverty with this $1 coin? No. Whatever I can help, I will help. Let me help this person. So that is the mood in which we have to approach preaching. We cannot be shy about it. We cannot be reserved about it. Why? Why we should be reserved? Why we should be shy about it? Whoever you see, just speak. That's it. We should be convinced that this is the only thing that will help. And try to convince them. And if we get defeated in the process, doesn't matter. The thing that we tried, the fact that we tried will be seen by Krishna. Even if we get defeated in the argument, we cannot present the philosophy properly, whatever happens. Once we have that, that's why every devotee should carry some books with him. And preach and give one book. Make that person pay also for that book. This should be a program actually for all devotees. There is unlimited work to be done. So every devotee should think like that. Let me help this person. Let me help that person. We have to become so evangelistic. Not for anything, just to help the other person. We have to really get into that mood of preaching. And here he said, should not be those who propagate the Krishna consciousness movement should not be afraid of such fools and rascals. There will be so many elements which will be opposing. But preachers should not be afraid of these things. Prabhupada said, purity is the force. If we are pure in our conduct, in our sadhana, in our actions, then yes, definitely we will be successful. No matter what situation comes, we will always be successful. That is the devotee, that is the preacher, who is actually following. No matter how many obstacles there may be put. Now, for example, this COVID situation. Our festivals can't be done, we can't go out on book distribution on the streets, we can't travel to different countries to set up temples there. We can't do many things. But still, we're keeping ourselves very, very busy in the act of spreading this Krishna consciousness movement. We have to always look for opportunities how this Krishna consciousness movement can be spread. And spread means we don't have to think of very big numbers at a time. It actually works from person to person, one person to one person. Even if you can preach to one person today, that's a big success. So this Sankhya Purvaka Namaganatibhi, Sankhya, the count of the holy names that we chant every day, the count of the obeisances that the Goswamis, especially Raghunath Das Goswami, he used to pay obeisances to at least 1008 Vaishnavas every day. Apart from his 64 rounds, he used to pay 1008 obeisances every day. So, if we just take that hint from the Goswamis and put it into our lives, into our commitments, Like we have a commitment of chanting. Why not we have our own commitments of preaching to at least one person every day? Whoever I can meet, let me try with one person. Somehow or other I should tell something about Krishna. Give them some prasadam. Something I have to help. So if we can do that, if we can take commitments like that, or if I, not or, these are all and, okay. Another commitment is, okay, let me read at least 5 pages every day. Actually, Prabhupada said 1 hour, 2 hours every day. Actually, that should be the commitment. But many people today, lost the reading habit. So start with something and then increase the reading habit. So have a commitment. So commitment is where the relationship, just like a marriage is a commitment. When the marriage ceremony takes place, there is a promise that these two people are promising that we will stay with each other for the rest of our lives. So if marriage is taken so seriously, why our relationship with Krishna is not taken seriously? There's a lifetime commitment. Every relationship must have some commitment, right? Otherwise there's no relationship. So love means there has to be a commitment. It's like mother. She will do anything. Her life is committed to the child. So like that. We have to commit ourselves to Krishna. And we should not be afraid of such fools and rascals who may try to oppose this movement. Unnecessary. I mean, we are trying to help, and these people try to give problems. But they actually cannot give problems provided we are steadfast in our practice. Uchcholilo premavanya chaudike vedaye stri vriddha balak yuva sabare dubai. The flood of love of Godhead swelled in all directions, and thus young men, old men, women and children were all immersed in that inundation. So there was a great flood. Purport. When the contents of the storehouse of love of Godhead is thus distributed, there is a powerful inundation that covers the entire land. In Sridham Mayapur, there is sometimes a great flood after the rainy season. This is an indication that from the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, the inundation of love of Godhead should be spread all over the world, for this will help everyone, including old men, young men, women and children. You see, even the flood in the Mayapur, Srila Prabhupada is taking in this way, explaining that the great flood after the rainy season is an indication that from the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, the inundation of love of Godhead should be spread all over the world, for this will help everyone, including old men, young men, women and children. Nowhere else we will hear of a flood which will help people, but here is such a flood. The Krishna consciousness movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so powerful that it can inundate the entire world and interest all classes of men in the subject of love of Godhead. And this is the mission of the devotee. What is that? The Krishna consciousness movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so powerful that it can inundate the entire world and interest all classes of men in the subject of love of Godhead. So the devotees should always think of ways and means to expand this preaching to people who would otherwise never listen to Krishna consciousness, and present the pure philosophy of Krishna consciousness to them. However much the population of Kali Yuga may be against God consciousness, the preachers always try, and then Krishna sees the attempt of the preachers and then he melts. Because if not for the connection with the preacher, the person would have, all of us, how did we come to the Krishna consciousness movement? We were rotting away in the material world, happily rotting away. But the mercy of devotees, pure devotee Srila Prabhupada and his servants who have distributed the books, who somehow or other we have come into contact. So when the devotee reaches out to the conditioned soul, although Krishna was not accepting that person, Krishna's heart melts when a devotee approaches. When he sees the devotees making all attempts to approach the innocent people of this world, conditioned souls. So, seeing the attempts of the devotee, Krishna's heart melts, and then he will start to take that person under his shelter. So, we have been saved by such attempt by the devotees, especially Srila Prabhupada's attempt, and also those who are sincerely serving him. So, we have been saved. So, similarly, now the only way we can repay this, we cannot repay. The only thing we can do is we can bring other people into this fold. We have to bring. There's no two ways about it. It's just we have to do it. Otherwise, our life is a waste. It's just a waste. Sajjana durjana pangu jada andhagan prema vanyay dubaila jagate rajan. The Krishna consciousness movement will inundate the entire world and drown everyone, whether one be a gentleman, a rogue, or even lame, invalid, or blind. See, here's the prediction. It will drown, will inundate and drown. Here again, purport. Here again, it may be emphasized that although jealous rascals protest that Europeans and Americans cannot be given the sacred thread or sannyas, there is no need even to consider whether one is a gentleman or a rogue, because this is a spiritual movement which is not concerned with the external body of skin and bones. Because it is being properly conducted under the guidance of the Panchatattva, strictly following the regulative principles, it has nothing to do with external impediments. Jagat dubilo jiver hoilo bijanash, taha dekhi pancha janer parama ullas. When the five members of the Panchatattva saw the entire world drowned in love of Godhead and the seed of material enjoyment in the living entities completely destroyed, they all became exceedingly happy. Purport. Actually, these verses are nicely explaining the mood of preachers. Purport. In this connection, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya that since the living entities all belong to the marginal potency of the Lord, each and every living entity has a natural tendency to become Krishna conscious, although at the same time the seed of material enjoyment is undoubtedly within him. The seed of material enjoyment, watered by the course of material nature, fructifies to become a tree of material entanglement that endows the living entity with all kinds of material enjoyment. To enjoy such material facilities is to be afflicted with the three material miseries. However, when by nature's law there is a flood, the seeds within the earth become inactive. Similarly, as the inundation of love of Godhead spreads all over the world, the seeds of material enjoyment become impotent. Thus, the more the Krishna consciousness movement spreads, the more the desire for material enjoyment decreases. The seed of material enjoyment automatically becomes impotent with the increase of the Krishna consciousness movement. Beautiful, beautiful description. The other day we did this gardening lessons in the Tattva Darshan show on Instagram, and in that we studied how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that a devotee, how he should be a gardener and take care of the seed of bhakti, lata, the creeper of bhakti, and then grow it into this luxuriant tree from which he will be able to taste the love of Godhead as fruits. Now, here is an opposite thing. A devotee also should flood this material field so much that the desire, the seed of material enjoyment, kama bija, should be driven out, should be made impotent by this flood of Krishna consciousness. So the dams must be open. So sometimes people join this movement and they turn out to be Kali Chelas. Kali Chelas means the disciples of Kali, and they are not interested in actually the Krishna consciousness movements spreading purely. They will change everything, and in that way, the free flow of love of Godhead, that flood will be stopped, and there will be dams built. Now we have to break open all the dams and let the thing flow again. So they are trying to dam up this flood of love of Godhead. And then what happens when we dam like that? Then the flood will no more be there, and then the seeds of material enjoyment will again sprout. So we have to keep the flood constantly coming, and there's unlimited supply. Even rivers, if we see, like Ganga, Yamuna, they're coming from the Gangotri, Yamunotri in the Himalayas. But there's unlimited supply of water. Even a material river can have unlimited supply of water from the source. Why not this spiritual river of Krishna consciousness? It has unlimited supply. But we should not dam this. Instead of being envious that Krishna consciousness is spreading all over the world by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, those who are jealous should be happy, as indicated here by the words Parama Ullas. But because they are Kanishta Adhikaris or Prakrita Bhaktas, materialistic devotees who are not advanced in spiritual knowledge, they are envious instead of happy, and they try to find faults in the Krishna consciousness movement. See? Yet Srimad Prabodhananda Saraswati writes in his Chaitanya Chandramrita that when influenced by Lord Chaitanya's Krishna consciousness movement, materialists become averse to talking about their wives and children. Supposedly learned scholars give up their tedious studies of Vedic literature. Yogis give up their impractical practices. Yogis give up their impractical practices of mystic yoga. Ascetics give up their austere activities of penance and austerity. And sannyasis give up their study of Sankhya philosophy. Thus they are all attracted by the bhakti yoga practices of Lord Chaitanya and cannot relish a mellow superior to that of Krishna consciousness. That's a good verse actually. Chaitanya Chandramrita, Prabodhananda Saraswati. I did not see this verse in Sanskrit. Looks like there is this verse. But Atmarama Chumanayo, that verse also explains this thing. 1:7:10. Atmarama means one who is happy in his own occupation. Of course, the liberationists and also even materialists, they are also trying to be happy in their own bubble. But everybody will become interested in Krishna consciousness if it is presented without adulteration. When it is presented with adulteration, it's not attractive. They actually think they want to make it more attractive by adding some masala. But actually they will ruin it. It will not be any more attractive. It will be only attractive if it is presented in its pure form. And that was evident when Srila Prabhupada went to America. He never changed anything. Oh, these are hippies, they won't understand everything. So I just explain this way, that way. And then the original thing is lost. No. He just the same original philosophy. Nothing changed. You hear all the lectures of Prabhupada or conversations everywhere. You will never be able to make out where he is speaking. Whether in India or Japan or America or Europe or Australia. You will never be able to make out. Because he is speaking the same thing. He does not change for different people. No. He is speaking the same thing. That is how we should preach. Nothing need to be changed. जत जत प्रेम वृष्टि करे पंच जने तत तत बाढ़े जल व्यापे त्रिभुवने The more the five members of the Panchatattva cause the rains of love of Godhead to fall, the more the inundation increases and spreads all over the world. Purport: the Krishna consciousness movement is not stereotyped or stagnant. It will spread all over the world in spite of all objections by fools and rascals that European and American mlechas cannot be accepted as brahmanas or sannyasis. Here it is indicated that this process will spread and inundate the entire world with Krishna consciousness. Tribhuvane. All over the three worlds, in fact. Now, how the Sankirtan movement is going on in other planets, we have no power to go and see that, but we can definitely see the inundation that happened on this planet by Srila Prabhupada. So we have to continue that original mission of Srila Prabhupada. Mayavadi karma nishtha kutarkika gan nindaka pashandi jata paduya adham sheshava mahadaksha dhaya palaila shevanyata Chuite narila. The impersonalists, fruitive workers, false logicians, blasphemers, non-devotees, and lowest among the student community are very expert in avoiding the Krishna consciousness movement. And therefore the inundation of Krishna consciousness cannot touch them. They are very expert in avoiding the Krishna consciousness movement, and therefore the inundation cannot touch them. They will go on top of these towers of these nonsense activities. Purport: like Mayavadi philosophers in the past, such as Prakashananda Saraswati of Benares, modern impersonalists are not interested in Lord Chaitanya's Krishna consciousness movement. They do not know the value of this material world. They consider it false and cannot understand how the Krishna consciousness movement can utilize it. They are so absorbed in impersonal thought that they take it for granted that all spiritual variety is material. Because they do not know anything beyond their misconception of the Brahma Jyoti, they cannot understand that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is spiritual and therefore beyond the conception of material illusion. Whenever Krishna incarnates personally or as a devotee, these Mayavadi philosophers accept him as an ordinary human being. This is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhutam maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. There are also other unscrupulous persons who exploit the Lord's appearance by posing as incarnations to cheat the innocent public. An incarnation of God should pass the tests of the statements of the Shastras and also perform uncommon activities. One should not accept a rascal as an incarnation of God, but should test his ability to act as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, Krishna taught Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita that, and Arjuna also accepted him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for our understanding, Arjuna requested the Lord to manifest his universal form, thus testing whether he was actually the Supreme Lord. Now in 10th chapter, Arjuna said, I accept. He said, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. You are the purest, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He already accepted in the 10th chapter. But then, in the 11th chapter, he asked him to show the universal form. So that signifies that although he accepted, he asked Krishna to show so that others in the future who do not accept so easily, and those cheaters who will come in the name of God and say that I am God. So Arjuna is making a foolproof evidence of what actually God is and who God is and how can he be identified. So therefore he asked him to show the Virat Rupa, universal form, and Krishna showed, and the whole description is there in the 11th canto, and nobody can do that. So if he is God, then show. Similarly, one must test a so-called incarnation of Godhead according to the standard criteria. To avoid being misled by an exhibition of mystic powers, it is best to examine a so-called incarnation of God in the light of statements of the Shastras. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described in the Shastras as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, if one wants to imitate Lord Chaitanya and claim to be an incarnation, he must show evidence from the Shastras about his appearance to substantiate his claim. And if he cannot show, he should be kicked badly, and shoes should be thrown upon him. Publicly he should be defamed. Actually, religious based government should actually punish him. But nowadays government, they don't even take, they only will punish him if he was found guilty in a rape case or some murder or some crime here, some money laundering or some scam. Then yes, he will be punished. Otherwise, for talking nonsense in the name of religion, he is not punished. That is not even taken as a crime. Because the rulers themselves don't know what is the religious principles. So they don't know who is to be punished, who is to be not. Only when they infringe, when they fall below so much that they infringe even material laws, then the law actually sees that, this person has to be punished. Until then, when he is stooping so low, until he has reached the material level of law, he is not even punished for the rest of the thing. But by the laws of nature, he will be punished. The karma will get to him. It will definitely get to him. ताहा देखी महाप्रभु करे न चिंतन, जगत डुबाइते आमे करिलु जतन, केहो एडाइला प्रतिज्ञा हइला भंगा, ताश बार डुबाइते पातिबो किछु रंगा. Seeing that the Mayavadis and others were fleeing, Lord Chaitanya thought, I wanted everyone to be immersed in this inundation of love of Godhead, but some of them have escaped. Therefore, I shall devise a trick to drown them also. And this is his sannyas ashram. Purport. Here is an important point. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to invent a way to capture the Mayavadis and others who did not take interest in the Krishna consciousness movement. This is a symptom of an acharya. See? Now this is actually very important, and one must be very careful also. You cannot invent your own way to capture the Mayavadis and those who did not take interest in the Krishna consciousness movement. We cannot do it in our own way. We have to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's method. This is a symptom of an acharya. An acharya who comes for the service of the Lord cannot be expected to conform to a stereotype, for he must find the ways and means by which Krishna consciousness may be spread. Sometimes jealous persons criticize the Krishna consciousness movement because it engages equally both boys and girls in distributing love of Godhead. Not knowing that boys and girls in countries like Europe and America mix very freely, these fools and rascals criticize the boys and girls in Krishna consciousness for intermingling. But these rascals should understand that one cannot suddenly change the community's social customs. However, since both the boys and the girls are being trained to become preachers, those girls are not ordinary girls, but are as good as their brothers who are preaching Krishna consciousness. Therefore, to engage both boys and girls in fully transcendental activities is a policy intended to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. These jealous fools who criticize the intermingling of boys and girls will simply have to be satisfied with their own foolishness, because they cannot think of how to spread Krishna consciousness by adopting ways and means that are favorable for this purpose. Their stereotyped methods will never help spread Krishna consciousness. Therefore, what we are doing is perfect by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for it is he who proposed to invent a way to capture those who strayed from Krishna consciousness. Now, this is very, very, very important, and it can be easily misrepresented, this verse. Now, if you see the example that Srila Prabhupada has given, he has given the point of using boys and girls for preaching Krishna consciousness, distributing books. Actually, they used to go out. Everyone used to go out and distribute books on the streets. Now, that may be a little unbecoming of what is this, brahmachari or sannyasi rules, but it is just Krishna's service that they are doing. So, this example is given, but the point is the service to Krishna, the philosophy has not changed a single bit. It's not changed a single bit. And of course, they also had their own services. Many Matajis were in the kitchen and they were cooking and everything. And some of them even went out. Some of them actually went out for book distribution. So we are not stereotyped. The real thing is Krishna consciousness must be spread. So here Prabhupada says that therefore what we are doing is perfect by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for it is he who proposed to invent a way to capture those who strayed from Krishna consciousness. Now invent a way. Now this is important. I can't invent a way in which Krishna consciousness is itself masked. No. If you see the intermingling of boys and girls, it is a lower principle than smartavya satatam vishnur vismartavyo na jatu chit. So the lower rules can be, manipulated. Then that too by the acharya. We cannot invent our own ways of doing things. The lower rules, but the main rule should be always remember Krishna and never forget him. And even in the preaching also, the same thing should be preached. The philosophy of Krishna consciousness cannot be subdued and then you preach something else and say that I am inventing a way to bring them. And such people are there in our so-called movement, in our ISKCON. What are they doing? Talking motivational speeches. Talking some business. They are now one of them, Vivek Bindra. He is now talking about business from Bhagavad Gita, business yoga. What nonsense is business yoga? This is not inventing a way. This is inventing a way how to make people forget Krishna consciousness. Take the Bhagavad Gita as a tool for material improvement. That's how he is preaching from the Bhagavad Gita. So not only him, it is becoming a trend now, even in our movement. So these are not considered inventions sanctioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that people were criticizing him when he was a grahastha. He was chanting the names of the gopis, and they criticized him, why are you chanting gopis' names? You should chant Krishna's name. Then he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this and then, these people are offending me, okay, let me do a trick. So he accepted sannyas. So for sannyasi, everybody must respect a sannyas. So everybody must respect a sannyasi. So in that way they will be forced to respect. So he adopted a trickery in which Krishna consciousness, when they were forgetting a little bit, he invented a way to bring them back. That is the thing. And not that you preach something and the person is never remembering Krishna at all. No. The quality of Krishna consciousness cannot be compromised. The lower rules can be compromised, like sannyasi cannot travel over the ocean. That can be compromised to spread Krishna consciousness. But not that I go there and I cross the ocean and then I speak rubbish there to suit them. No. Srila Prabhupada never did that. He spoke straight Krishna consciousness. And Krishna consciousness, does it lack anything that we should hide something about it? Is it something shameful? Why do we feel that shyness in presenting? Why we should hide anything? Does it not is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is perfect? If we don't have that confidence, that means we ourselves haven't understood the mission of Bhagavad Gita, the message of Bhagavad Gita. We have to be confident that this is very, very scientific. If they are talking about science, ours is much greater science. We have to be speaking with full conviction. In fact, Srila Prabhupada challenged the so-called scientific community in many, many aspects. the moon landing, the evolution theory, the abortion, everything he challenged. He challenged everything. Because he was confident. He was not challenging for challenging's sake. He was confident that this is the answer, not yours. So we have to have that. Not that, oh, the scientists are saying this thing, everybody is saying, so if we say something different, we will look like idiots. So we should actually, we should conform to them. No. Why? When we know the science, then we don't need to. Even though it will look stupid for, in front of those who are actually stupid, who actually believe these kind of things. So we don't need to be worrying about that. What is said in the Shastra is always true. So invent away means the lower rules. Sarva vidhi nishedhasur etayoreva kinkara smartavya satatam vishnur vismartavya na jata chit. Padma Puran's verdict is that it is the primary principle is to remember Krishna and not to forget him. And every other rule can be adjusted to bring them to that point. एता बोली मने किच्छु कोरिया विचार संन्यास आश्रम प्रभु कैलांगिकार. So this is, as I said, this sannyas ashram. Thus the Lord accepted the sannyas order of life after full consideration. Purport: there was no need for Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept sannyas, for he is God himself and therefore has nothing to do with the material bodily concept of life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not identify himself with any of the 8 varnas and ashramas, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. He identified himself as the Supreme Spirit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or for that matter any pure devotee, never identifies with these social and spiritual divisions of life, for a devotee is always transcendental to these different gradations of society. Nevertheless, Lord Chaitanya decided to accept sannyas on the grounds that when he became a sannyasi, everyone would show him respect and in that way be favored. Although there was actually no need for him to accept sannyas, he did so for the benefit of those who might think him an ordinary human being. Some people were considering him an ordinary human being. So even if he is ordinary human, even if they consider him like that, although it is an offense in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that manushim tanu ashritam avajananti mam mudha. All the rascals and fools consider me an ordinary human being. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not even say that. Oh, they are considering me an ordinary human being, they are finding faults with me. Okay, let me take sannyas. So even if they are thinking that I am an ordinary human being, when they pay respect to me, that's it. They will be delivered. You see how much Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is favoring the conditioned souls of Kali Yuga. So like some Vaishnava, even Vaishnavas from other sampradayas, they consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a great sant, a devotee, a great sannyasi, like that. They don't know that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But even if they offer him respect like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so kind that he will accept them, accept their respect, and thus elevate them. But of course, when we meet such people, we should mention that actually he is not just an ordinary person, he is God himself. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is thinking like this, you see. Although there was, the main purpose of his accepting sannyas was to deliver the Mayavadi sannyasis. This will be evident later in this chapter. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained the term Mayavadi as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to the material conception of life. A Mayavadi is one who considers the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, to be made of Maya, and who also considers the abode of the Lord and the process of approaching him, devotional service, to be Maya. Let's read that again. Definition of Mayavadi. Okay? Remember this. It's in the purport of 7.33 of Adilila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. A Mayavadi is one who considers the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, to be made of Maya, and who also considers the abode of the Lord and the process of approaching him, devotional service, to be Maya. So he considers the form of the Lord, the abode of the Lord, and the process to get to him, all are Maya. The Mayavadi considers all the paraphernalia of devotional service to be Maya. Maya refers to material existence, which is characterized by the reactions of fruitive activities. Mayavadis consider devotional service to be among such fruitive activities. So they consider it as one of the ritualistic activities of the Vedas, pious activities. Like there are many pious activities of charity, or yajnas meant to appease the demigods, fruitive kind of yajnas. That's why the eighth offense against the chanting of the holy name is to consider the holy name of Krishna to be one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities or karma kanda. To just consider it as a process for attaining some good karma. No. That is Mayavadi. That means we are considering the holy name as something material. We are considering the devotional process as material. That is Mayavadi. That means we are thinking that it is part of Maya, because fruitive activity is Maya. Just ordinary pious activities, these are all Maya. Kuvishaya, Suvishaya. There are two Vishaya. Vishaya means material life. Now, Suvishaya means the heavenly life, pious, so-called pious life in this material world. And Kuvishaya means sinful life. Both are bad. Both Suvishaya and Kuvishaya. Hare Krishna chanting is not Suvishaya, one of the aspects of Vishaya. No. When we consider it as an aspect of Vishaya, which is material life, then that is Mayavadi. Mayavad philosophy. So Mayavad philosophy does not only mean that the soul and the super soul merge into each other, just ekatvam or advaita. They call themselves Advaitavadis, this Mayavadis, but Vaishnavas call them Mayavadis. Because for them, they don't understand the spiritual variety, and they consider spiritual variety and activity as material. For them, any activity is material. Spiritual means there is no activity, no nothing. A state of nothingness. That is their understanding of spiritual. Akin to Buddhist philosophy, voidness. So, Shunyavadi, they are called. So, that kind of philosophy. And if there is anything, Krishna has activities, there also must be Maya. You are doing worship to Krishna, that is also Maya. Good Maya, pious activity, but Maya. So, this is their understanding. So that's why it is an offense to consider the holy name as one of just the rituals mentioned in the Vedas for fruitive gain. Is there a Mayavad philosophy? So what is Mayavadi? To consider the form of the Lord, to consider the abode of the Lord, to consider the devotional process, to consider the devotional paraphernalia as part of this material world, manifestations of material energy. That is Maya. And it comes from this understanding that spiritual must be different from material. Material there is activity, spiritual there should not be activity. That is their understanding. Neti. But we understand the philosophy of reflection. Urdhvamulam adhashakham ashvatham brahuravyayam chandam siyat parnani yastam vedasa vedavit. They are always reading Vedas, these Mayavadis. Always Vedas. Vedanta Sutra, Vedanta. But they are not Vedavit. They are not knowers of the Vedas. Because the knower of the Vedas, he accepts the philosophy of reflection. You see, Yastam Veda Sa Vedavit. One who knows, the knower of the Vedas. What is that? It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. That means reflection, this upside down tree is actually a reflection of the real tree in the spiritual world. This material world is a reflection, perverted reflection of the real tree. So, if there is fruit in the reflection, that means there is a fruit also in the real tree. Otherwise, if there is no fruit in the real tree, there will be no fruit in the reflection. So, although we know that the fruit in the reflection is false, now a Mayavadi also knows that. He thinks, oh, whatever is found in the water, all these reflections are all false. Hallucination. That is true. But he considers everything as false. There is no such thing as if the tree has fruit, suppose mango, and if he sees the mangoes in the reflection, oh, these are not false, these are all false. Oh, if somebody says they don't know there are mangoes, oh, yeah, all mangoes are false. That is their idea. Everything is material. Everything is that illusion, the reflection. If it is said that there is a tree with its roots upward and branches down, that means it is a reflection of the. But they only see the tree only, the reflection only, the reflection of the tree, and then they conclude, okay, everything is false. The real mango is there on the real tree. So this is devotee's understanding. He is Vedavit. That means any activity which is here, spiritual means it is not that it is not activity, it is the real form of this activity, and this activity is only a reflection of the real activity. This activity is temporary, is just illusion. Yes, but not that all activity is illusion. Just like a shadow. Shadow is an illusion, but shadow is formed by a real object. So in this way we have to understand. Now we continue with the purport here. Maya refers to the material existence which is characterized by the reactions of fruitive activities. Mayavadis consider devotional service to be among such fruitive activities. According to them, when Bhagavatas or devotees are purified by philosophical speculation, they will come to the real point of liberation. Those who speculate in this way regarding devotional service are called Kutarkikas, false logicians. Tarka means debate, logical debates, arguments. So Kutarka means one who argues very badly, very terrible arguer. False logicians, they don't have proper logic. And those who consider devotional service to be fruitive activity are called karmanishthas. So here in this verse, if you see, these words are used. Sorry, the verse before this. Or the verse before this. Yeah, here. 7:29 and 13. Mayavadi karmanishtha kutarkika gana. Nindaka pashandijata paduya adham. All these classes of people are being described in that purport by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Mayavadi is that person who considers everything as Maya about the Lord. Karmanishtha is a person who considers the. Okay, let's go back there. And those who consider the devotional service, to be ultimately getting to a point of liberation when they become jnanis, and they are kutarkikas. And then one who consider devotional service to be fruitive activity are called karmanishthas. Those who criticize devotional service are called nindakas, blasphemers. Similarly, non-devotees who consider devotional activities to be material are called pashandis. And scholars with a similar viewpoint are called adhama paduyas. The Kutarkikas, Nindakas, Pashandis and Adhama Paduyas all avoided the benefit of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement of developing love of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt compassion for them, and it is for this reason that he decided to accept the sannyas order, for by seeing him as a sannyasi they would offer him respects. The sannyas order is still respected in India. Indeed, the very dress of a sannyasi still commands respect from the Indian public. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas to facilitate preaching his devotional cult. Although otherwise, he had no need to accept the fourth order of spiritual life. This is actually, in fact, I don't know if you know, the poem that Srila Prabhupada wrote in 1961 as an offering to, as a homage offering to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on his disappearance day, or Vyasa Puja, one of them. So there he actually mentioned this trickery by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this acceptance of sannyas. 26 वत्सर छिला गृहस्थ आश्रमे 25 वर्ष कैलो जति धर्मे 25 वर्ष कैलो जति धर्मे. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained in household life for 24 years, and on the verge of his 25th year he accepted the sannyas order. Purport: there are 4 orders of spiritual life, namely Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas, and in each of these ashramas there are 4 divisions. Wow! The divisions of the Brahmacharya ashram are Savitriya, Prajapatya, Brahma and Brihat, and the divisions of Grihastha ashrama are Varta, professionals, Sanchaya, accumulators, Shalina, those who do not ask anything from anyone, and Shilonchana, those who collect grains from the paddy fields. No. Similarly, the divisions of the Vanaprastha ashrama are Vaikhanasa, Valakhilya, Audumbara and Phenapa, and the divisions of Sannyasa are Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Hamsa and Nishkriya. There are 2 kinds of sannyasis who are called Dhiras and Narottamas, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1:13, 26 and 27. At the end of the month of January in the year 1432 Shakabda or 1500 or 1510 AD, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyas order from Keshav Bharati, who belonged to the Shankara Sampradaya. 2 kinds of sannyasis, Dhiras and Narottamas. So let's go here. Gata swartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhanah avijñāta gatirjahyāt savai dhīra udahritaha. He is called undisturbed or dhira, who goes to an unknown remote place and freed from all obligations quits his material body when it has become useless. Not that he dies in front of all his relatives. Yasvakat parato veha jata nirveda atmavan hridi kritva harim gehat pravrajet sanarottamaha. He is certainly a first-class man who awakens and understands, either by himself or from others, the falsity and misery of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the personality of Godhead residing within his heart. So this is 2 types of sannyas, Dhira and Narottama. These are संन्यास करिया प्रभु कोयला आकर्षण जते का पालांछन जते का पालाया छिला तार्किकादिगण. After accepting the sannyas order, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attracted the attention of all those who had evaded him, beginning with the logicians. Paduya pashandi karmi nindakadi jata tara asi prabhu paye hoye avanata. Thus, the students, infidels, fruitive workers and critics all came to surrender under the lotus feet of the Lord. Aparadha kshamaila dubila prema jale keba edaibe prabhur prema mahajale. Lord Chaitanya excused them all and they merged into the ocean of devotional service, for no one can escape the unique loving network of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an ideal acharya. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an ideal acharya. An acharya is an ideal teacher who knows the purpose of the revealed scriptures, behaves exactly according to their injunctions, and teaches his students to adopt these principles also. As an ideal acharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu devised ways to capture all kinds of atheists and materialists. Every acharya has a specific means of propagating his spiritual movement with the aim of bringing men to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the method of one acharya may be different from that of another. but the ultimate goal is never neglected. Sri Rupa Goswami recommends Tasmat kenapyupayena manah krishne niveshayet sarve vidhi nishedhasyur etayoreva kinkaraha. An acharya should devise a means by which people may somehow or other come to Krishna consciousness. First, they should become Krishna conscious, and all the prescribed rules and regulations may later gradually be introduced. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we follow this policy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For example, since boys and girls in the Western countries freely intermingle, special concessions regarding their customs and habits are necessary to bring them to Krishna consciousness. The Acharya must devise a means to bring them to devotional service. Therefore, although I am a sannyasi and I sometimes take part in getting boys and girls married, although I am a sannyasi, I sometimes take part in getting boys and girls married, although in the history of sannyas, no sannyasi has personally taken part in marrying his disciples. Now, again, very important to comment on this one. See, when Srila Prabhupada talked about these concessions, these inventions in preaching, he did not mean that the message is somehow hidden in order to attract a large following. No. Again, we should note very clearly, although he says concessions and all, he is talking about the lower rules of intermingling. That's why, because they are intermingling so much, instead of making them sannyas, he got them married. And sannyasi usually never attends a marriage ceremony. Even a brahmachari does not attend. So, I mean, even in our temple, we had marriage of my brother, and he was getting married. I did not attend his marriage. I was staying in the ashram. I mean, that is the rule. But Srila Prabhupada, as a sannyasi, he actually conducted their marriages. Now, that may be... So, these are the kinds of concessions Srila Prabhupada is talking about. He is not talking about, like, some of the, in fact, devotees have argued with me like that. In ISKCON, this Gaur Gopal Das is talking motivational speech, and then this Vivek Bindra and all. So many people are now speaking in their own way. And they said, these are all inventions in bringing people to Krishna consciousness. These are not inventions. These are inventions of Maya, not of the Panchatattva. Not sanctioned by Panchatattva, these are sanctioned by Maya, sanctioned by Kali Yuga. So that the purity of the movement is taken away. The message has to be pure under all circumstances. See, when Prabhupada says concessions, then he gives examples of these intermingling, or he gives example of initiating Westerners into Brahmanas and sannyasis. So these are the inventions or concessions that Srila Prabhupada is talking about. He is not talking about the concession that, we have to hide the philosophy to suit them, and then we talk rubbish, mundane nonsense, and then hopefully they will be attracted just by seeing the tilak and the dress, and hopefully sometime they will become devotees. In fact, what is happening now is all this Gaur Gopal Das and this kind of people's favorite followers, they thoroughly criticize our presentation of the real message of Krishna consciousness. So, is that person bringing these people to Krishna consciousness? Or is he making those people averse to the real message of Krishna consciousness which we are presenting? So, when Prabhupada says inventions and all this, we can't take it as a complete, free for all, or what is that? What is that word? Carte blanche. Carte blanche. That is a phrase. CARTE space BLANCHE. Carte blanche. That means complete. Take complete authority in our own hands and do whatever we want. No. And now they're making women gurus. For us, the men and women gurus are both the same. Both are unbona fide, because none of them were authorized by Prabhupada. So, these verses are being misused or misinterpreted by these people. and they're inventing their own ways of doing whatever they want. This is not what Prabhupada mentioned when he said inventions and concessions. So we should note what example Prabhupada is giving, not simply concoct and wildly do something. If somebody did wildly like that, Prabhupada chastised his disciples so hard. Like even somehow, nowadays they're providing concession. Okay, Guru actually does not need to be a pure devotee. You know, and there are laws in ISKCON. There is a law book in which we have presented that in the. I have shown you all the laws in the last year presentation of the Ritvik system series, especially the 4th episode. You should watch all the laws of ISKCON concerning Guru. Or when Guru falls down and develops demoniac qualities, how to deal with such a Guru. Why in the first place was the rascal develop demoniac qualities? What kind of Guru is he then? How is he a Guru? How was he a Guru? So, no questioning, simply talking nonsense. Then they will quote some, what is it? Bhajan Rahasya of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or this Narahari Sarkar's, what is the other book? So their books they quote. But Narahari Sarkar himself is saying in the next verse that all these things you have to consult your own spiritual master. So our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada never sanctioned all these things. And in fact, when this one so-called one disciple of his named Nitai, when he was saying that, when somebody mentioned to Prabhupada that Nitai is saying that Guru doesn't have to be a pure devotee, and Prabhupada immediately asked, who is that rascal? Who? And they said, this our Nitai. Who? Nitai? Who? Oh, our Nitai? Really? Did he say like that? Huh? No, he thought, so he just shared it with other devotees. Oh, that means he is more rascal. He is rascal, first of all, he speculated. And then now he is not only keeping quiet, but he is spreading his speculations to others. He is more rascal. So he did not allow, Srila Prabhupada did not allow all this concession talk. When he is talking about concession, this is not what Prabhupada meant. Fully water down the standards and do whatever the hell you want and go to hell. This is not what Prabhupada mentioned. Concession means this kind of concession, keeping the philosophy intact, the principle of Krishna consciousness intact. I think we will go one more verse until 40 we will try to do and see. सबा निस्तारिते प्रभु कृपा अवतार, सबा निस्तारिते करे चातुरी अपार. Yeah, this is the conversation Dhiradas has put here. Akshayananda says, who's a rascal? Prabhupada is saying, see, that the Acharya does not have to be a pure devotee. Who said, who's a rascal? The Acharya does not require to be a pure devotee. So, So coming back to this verse, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to deliver all the fallen souls. Therefore, he devised many methods to liberate them from the clutches of Maya. We can devise as many methods. We can invent. We can be very creative. But don't even drop the concentration of the Krishna consciousness message even a slightest bit. The purity, the what is that? Fidelity of the message should not be lost. There should not be a single deviation from the original philosophy. Yes, in that way, yes. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to have these dioramas, big 3D models of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela and all the Bhagavad Gita concepts, this, that, so many. He had so many different ways of exhibiting the knowledge of the scriptures. So likewise, we can, now we are using social media, for example. He used printing press at that time. We are using social media. Of course, printing press also is there, printing the books and all that, magazines. But social media and all these technologies, we have to use them in the Krishna's service. All of them, we have to use them in Krishna's service. And reach out. Whatever is the latest fad, we go there and inundate that place with Krishna consciousness. That is the preacher's duty. You should see where is the opportunity to inundate this place. Oh, this place is there? Okay, send out one flood, open the dams. That's it. flood this whole place. So that should be the mood of the preacher. Everywhere and anywhere they are going to have their nonsense conversations, we have to enter there and bring the real knowledge from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, our Prabhupada's books. Everything is there. We just need to bark on this, embark, sorry, bark. We cannot bark. Let them bark. And we will embark on this adventure of going into all these places and establishing Krishna consciousness everywhere. We have to conquer all these places and we have to put the flag of Krishna consciousness there. Jaya Pataka. Jaya Pataka means the victory flag. We have to, what is that? Hoist the victory flag in every space, physical and virtual. जैसे पृथ्वी त्याच जतन अधिक नगराधिग्राम सर्वत्र प्रचार होय मोर नाम. Now cities are places where people come and do different things. Now that is physically, but in virtual spaces there are so many cities. Like Facebook, it's a huge country on its own, and every group is like a city or village or whatever, hamlet. And likewise there are so many social media now, and everywhere people are interacting, and it's a confluence of people, and that's just what a city is all about. Some people have millions of subscribers. Like in a country there are millions of people. And these are also cities, virtual cities in one way. Everywhere we have to go and inundate the place. So we have unlimited work to do. Unlimited. So we have to, first of all, follow all the rules and regulations. To be able to do this, to be able to penetrate this, we have to have strength, spiritual strength. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he chanted 192 rounds and he vowed to do this for 9 years, and within 4 years, of course, he got the indication from Panchatattva themselves that you preach Krishna consciousness, and then he went out. So how much he wanted to chant 1 billion names of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 192 rounds for 9 years before he wanted to start the Krishna consciousness movement, because he said, I need the strength to start this movement. You see, so it is not a simple thing that okay, I will think something and I will do it. No, we will not be able to do if we don't have the spiritual strength. So we should have the spiritual strength. We have to really pray to Prabhupada and Krishna that let us become serious in this whole thing and spread this Krishna consciousness movement everywhere. And then if we do like that with all sincerity, then Prabhupada, Krishna's mercy will be there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, Panchatattva's mercy will be there, and the storehouse of love of Godhead will be broken free. Freely it will flow everywhere. Purport. It is the concern of the Acharya to show mercy to the fallen souls. In this connection, Desh, Kal, Patra, the place, time and the object should be taken into consideration. Since the European and American boys and girls in our Krishna consciousness movement preach together, less intelligent men criticize that they are mingling without restriction. In Europe and America, boys and girls mingle unrestrictedly and have equal rights. Therefore, it is not possible to completely separate the men from the women. However, we are thoroughly instructing both men and women how to preach, and actually they are preaching wonderfully. Of course, we can very strictly prohibit illicit sex. Boys and girls who are not married are not allowed to sleep together or live together, and they are separated, and and there are separate arrangements for boys and girls in every temple. Grihasthas live outside the temple, for in the temple we do not allow even husband and wife to live together. The results of this are wonderful. Both men and women are preaching the gospel of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna with redoubled strength. In this verse, the words Shabanistarite Kore Chaturi Apar indicate that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to deliver one and all. Therefore, it is a principle that a preacher must strictly follow the rules and regulations laid down in the Shastras, yet at the same time devise a means by which the preaching work to reclaim the fallen may go on with full force. So, this is all the genius of Srila Prabhupada, how he brought this whole movement forward. And we have to follow in the footsteps. And we have to make necessary arrangements without compromising at all on the philosophy and the practice and the principles. तबे निज भक्त कोइलो जतम लेच्छादि सबे डाइलो मात्र काशीर मायावादी. All were converted into devotees of Lord Chaitanya, even the Mlechas and Yavanas. Only the impersonalist followers of Shankaracharya evaded him. Purport. In this verse it is clearly indicated that although Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted Muslims and other Mlechas into devotees, the impersonalist followers of Shankaracharya could not be converted. After accepting the renounced order of life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted many karmanishthas who are addicted to fruitive activities, many great logicians like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Nindakas or blasphemers like Prakashananda Saraswati, Pashandis and non-devotees like Jagai and Madha, and Adhama Paduyas, degraded students like Mukunda and his friends. All of them gradually became devotees of the Lord, even the Pathans, Muslims. But the worst offenders, the impersonalists, were extremely difficult to convert, for they very tactfully escaped the devices of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now you see how dangerous impersonalism is, and Srila Prabhupada came to deliver them. Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine. He distributed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, message, far and wide, and he delivered those who are professing this impersonalism and voidism. Very, very dangerous. So dangerous that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy they tried to escape. In describing the Kashir Mayavadis, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained that persons who are bewildered by empiric knowledge, that means this speculative knowledge, or direct sensual perception, ordinary karmis, jnanis and karmis, who are bewildered by jnana and karma, and who thus consider that even this limited material world can be gauged from their material estimations, conclude that anything that one can discern by direct sense perception is but maya or illusion. They maintain that although the absolute truth is beyond the range of sense perception, it includes no spiritual variety or enjoyment. Can be gauged. I don't know why I said gauged. Gauged. So again, let's read that again. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained that persons who are bewildered by empiric knowledge or direct sensual perception, and who thus consider that even this limited material world can be gauged by their material estimations, which actually cannot be gauged, we cannot be measured, gauged being measured, conclude that anything that one can discern by direct sense perception is but maya or illusion. They cannot even understand the material world themselves. They are trying to speculate on the absolute truth. And they say that is also maya. They maintain that although the absolute truth is beyond the range of sense perception, it includes no spiritual variety or enjoyment. According to the Kashir Mayavadis, the spiritual world is simply void. They do not believe in the personality of the absolute truth or in his varieties of activities in the spiritual world. Although they have their own arguments which are not very strong, they have no conception of the variegated activities of the absolute truth. These impersonalists, who are followers of Shankaracharya, are generally known as Kashir Mayavadis or impersonalists residing in Varanasi. Near Varanasi, there is another group of impersonalists who are known as Sarnath Mayavadis. Outside the city of Varanasi is a place known as Sarnath, where there is a big Buddhist stupa. Many followers of Buddhist philosophy live there, and they are known as Sarnath Mayavadis. The impersonalists of Sarnath differ from those of Varanasi, for the Varanasi impersonalists propagate the idea that the impersonal Brahman is truth, whereas material varieties are false. But the Sarnath impersonalists do not even believe that the absolute truth of Brahman can be understood as the opposite of Maya or illusion. According to their vision, materialism is the only manifestation of the absolute truth. Factually, both the Kashir and the Sarnath Mayavadis, as well as any other philosophers who have no knowledge of the spirit souls, are advocates of utter materialism. Now, Varanasi and Sarnath may be localized places in Bihar and UP, but now that philosophy is there all over the world. Everybody is talking impersonally. They think, oh, universe. Westerners, oh, this is universe. They don't mention God as a person. No. So, this has become rampant all over the world, India and the rest of the world. So, they are advocates of utter materialism. None of them have clear knowledge regarding the absolute or the spiritual world. Philosophers like the Sarnath Mayavadis, who do not believe in the spiritual existence of the absolute truth, but consider material varieties to be everything, do not believe that there are two kinds of nature, inferior material and superior spiritual, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, neither the Varanasi or the Sarnath Mayavadis accept the principles of the Bhagavad Gita due to a poor fund of knowledge. Since these impersonalists, who do not have perfect spiritual knowledge, cannot understand the principles of Bhakti Yoga, they must be classified among the non-devotees who are against the Krishna consciousness movement. We sometimes feel inconvenienced by the hindrances offered by these impersonalists, but we do not care about their so-called philosophy, for we are propagating our own philosophy as presented in Bhagavad Gita as it is, and getting successful results. Theorizing as if devotional service was subject to their mental speculation, both kinds of Mayavadi impersonalists conclude that the subject matter of Bhakti Yoga is a creation of Maya, and that Krishna, devotional service and the devotee are also Maya. Therefore, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mayavadi Krishna Aparadhi, all the Mayavadis are offenders to Lord Krishna. It is not possible for them to understand the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, we do not value their philosophical conclusions. However expert such quarrelsome impersonalists are in putting forward their so-called logic, we defeat them in every respect and go forward with our Krishna consciousness movement. Their imaginative mental speculation cannot deter the progress of the Krishna consciousness movement, which is completely spiritual and is never under the control of such Mayavadis. So, okay, I think we'll stop here at 39. We will or shall we do 40? We'll do 40 next time. We'll finish it here. Okay, any questions or comments on this topic? Let's see. So Dhiradas is saying, same like Gaur Gopal Das, Vivek Bindra also in his videos misinterpret Bhagavad Gita and hide Bhakti part from it. These people have to be completely exposed. Krishna Dorya, since Gigi claims to be validated by his guru to be a motivational speaker, one can clearly know what they are about. If he is validated by his guru, then his guru is invalid, first of all. Which guru, actual guru, will actually validate this thing? No guru. It means the guru himself is invalid. What can he give validation? Nonsense. Parshuram Prabhu is saying Kashi, Varanasi and Sarnath is located very close to each other. Sarnath is an outskirt of Varanasi. Yeah, just now Srila Prabhupada was mentioning. So it's in Bihar province, right? Eastern UP. Oh, Eastern UP. Okay, Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Alright, so. And nearby Bihar there is that Bodh Gaya. Yeah. Sarnath is the place where Lord Buddha did first preaching after getting enlightened at Bodh Gaya. Oh. So Bodh Gaya is also in Bihar. Bihar, UP, they are a hub of Mayavadi impersonalism. Dhiradas is asking, Monday is AM? Yes. Nirjala Ekadasi special. Alright, so we'll end it here. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Panchatattva ki jai, the pure preaching movement Brihat Mridanga ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. What is this? Rajeshwari Mataji. It was an enlightening class on preaching Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Everybody must preach. That's why we have this BVA program of training devotees so that they actually become preachers. That is the whole point. Everybody should become preachers. Alright, thank you. Hare Krishna.